Very welcome to yet another Sunday night live stream. I know I haven't told anybody about this, and that is because I don't really have any data left on my data card that I'm using to do these live streams. And this means that I will not be able to do this for very long. So those of you who are fortunate enough to click into this right now, you will have the chance to ask your questions before everyone else. And I probably won't be able to do this for more than about 15 minutes before my data runs out. But I hope that all of you out there are doing absolutely fantastic. I have had an absolutely brilliant weekend. Those of you who are following me on Instagram, and by the way, if you're not following me on Instagram, then check out here. I have the website address here. You guys should definitely follow me on Instagram because I will give you some more kind of personal details on there, some more pictures from my day-to-day life, a little bit for flight tech pictures if you like that. So check out the Instagram address. And those of you who did follow me on Instagram knows that I bought myself a new Porsche. So I've had a really great weekend so far. I've never really driven a cab before, so it's been a very pleasant surprise to own a cab. Drive around with that it's brilliant fun. You know, it's and this thing, it's a Boxster. It's a central engine on it, which means that the handling is absolutely amazing. Anyway, enough about me, guys. How are you guys doing? I see that Carrington Woods is here, Miles Villar, Cassie Maubert, good to see you. Um, like I said, I will only be able to do this for a few minutes before my data runs out. So I'm going to take a little bit of questions here from the chat, which I normally don't have time to do. So, have you ever been in Vienna? I have been outside of Vienna. I haven't actually been inside of Vienna, unfortunately. I would love to do that though. Um, every type of video, great to have you here, and you're doing great. That's nice to see. So, hey Mentor, I would be interested in knowing about any in-flight failures, incident you've had in your career. How is real-life experience compared to your training? Great, I'm gonna do a little bit more of that. Now, fortunately, I have been very lucky so far. I haven't had much technical incidents, and that's because the aircraft are really well built and really well maintained. So most pilots don't have more than, some minor faults. There are always minor things happening, some pump that stops working or an air conditioning pack that needs to be reset or things like that. But when it comes to real proper failures, like I'm guessing that you're talking about, it happens very rarely. So um, I've had flap problems. I've mentioned that before. Flap problems that requires us to come in and land flap 15, and I'm really happy that we had good training before that because it wasn't a big deal since we'd done it many times in the simulator already. Um, I felt very well prepared for it, and it's interesting to see from a personal point of view how you will react. If you are going to let the workload increase and kind of get tunnel vision, or if you cool down and start taking things one by one. In my case, those, like I said, the things that I've been experiencing so far hasn't been that bad. So I don't really know. Pilots don't know until they are really subjected to it. That's part of the exciting bit of being a pilot, really. Have you ever flown a GLS? No, I haven't flown a GLS actually. Mentor Pilot question: Does it annoy? Does it annoy you that Captain Joe is not a captain? No, not at all. People can call their channels whatever they want. He is chosen to do so because he is wanting to highlight the pilot part of his channel. I think he made that very clear when in the beginning of his channel. If you go back, he will explain that no, he's not a captain, but of course he's aspiring to be that. But what he is giving, as in his kind of YouTube character, is Captain Joe, and that's absolutely fine with me. I have no problems with that whatsoever. Right, is nowadays all the landings on autopilot? No, and that's a great question actually. I'm happy that you brought that up because 99% of all the landings are still manual. Okay, at least in my airline, I should say. And that's because the autoland function is there, but it has some limitations on wind speeds, for example, and it also uses more runway because it's not the autopilot doesn't land like a pilot do. All right, the autopilot starts its flare at 50 feet, while we would start it typically between 20 and 30 feet, which means that the autopilot has a tendency to do a longer flare and use more runway, and that is one of the reasons why we very rarely use the autopilot. The only time that we do use the autopilot for landing is in poor visibility conditions, as in Cat 2, Cat 3. And if you guys want to know how that looks like, what a Cat 3 approach looks like, and how we do a go around from a Cat 3, then I recommend you to go into the Mentour Aviation app and get the Cat 3, the low-vis collection in there, where you can look around in 360 and see everything that we do inside of the cockpit during a Cat 3 approach and go around, and a Cat 3 approach and landing, should be said. So if you don't have the app, you should definitely get the app, guys. I'm making some improvements in the app now. I've actually told my my developers to start working on the next set of things that will happen in the app, which I'm hoping that all of you using the app is going to enjoy. I can't promise when that will come up, but they are working on it right now. So we have our first super chat question. Hej from Odd Gamer. Hej, kul att få prata med dig. Guys, I might have time to do a few super chat questions if you do. So if you do have a really important question, like I said, I'm gonna try to keep this live stream down to about 20 minutes or so, just because I don't want to eat up the little internet I have left this month. I've literally used it up during the last few live streams. So now I'm running very short on it. So if you have some really important questions that you want to ask me, then use the super chat. Otherwise, I will be back with some fresh internet capability next Sunday, okay, for a proper live stream then. What is your favorite airplane? Well, my favorite airplane is probably the Concorde. When it comes to favorite airplanes right now, I would say that I like the 787, the Airbus 350, and of course the Queen of the Skies, the 747. Airbus 380, it looks like a great, well, I've flown in it as a passenger, and it is a fantastic aircraft to be inside, but it's not an aircraft that inspires dreams in the way that the 747 does. Mentor, I was speaking to a Ryanair captain today. He recommended the Canaries for training. Is this a good idea? That depends on how you see it. If you are going to do line training in Ryanair and you get the Canary Islands, you're going to get a lot of 2-sector days, which is good, especially in the beginning when you have a little time. You know, when it feels like everything is going too fast for you. So there will be very long sectors where there will be plenty of time to do discussion items and to prepare yourself for the approach and stuff. But as you get into line training, it's probably going to, you know, it's going to be slow because you're only going to do 2 sectors. You will probably want to increase the pace a little bit and do some more 4-sector days, both to get your own skills and speed of setups and stuff up, but also because you want the line training to take less days. And of course, if you do 4 sectors per day instead of 2 sectors per day, you're going to reach the sectors needed for line check much quicker. So there are pros and cons with that, but I mean, it's nice to be in the Canaries as well. Good weather, nice beaches, good surfing, nice people. Do you ever fly to Lisbon? I haven't flown to Lisbon in a while, actually. Have I flown to Lisbon? Can't remember, actually. I think when I was based back in London, I flew to Lisbon at some point, but otherwise I flew to Porto quite a bit. So, have any TV companies been in contact asking you to have your own TV show? No, they have not. Not my own TV show. I might turn up in some TV show, but not my own. So, when are you flying to Stansted next? Thanks for the info on the Canaries. I am flying to Stansted, I think next week I'm doing Stansted again. There was some problems today in Stansted, so I think the lightning hit the fueling station, so there was no fuel for several hours, which led to a lot of delays and a lot of cancellations and a lot of diversions as well. If you would have the Mentour Aviation app, you would know that. We sent out a push about that about midday. So, would you recommend an MPL? I've talked about the MPL. If you go into the, I have a playlist about different licenses. If you go in and check that out, you'll see there what I said about MPL. I think MPL is a really good idea. I think it depends on the company. So if it is an MPL who's been done like by, for example, EasyJet, very good. Just go for it because it's a big, stable, good company. If it's an MPL that is done by a company who maybe is not as financially well off, I'll be a little bit more careful. But I personally think that the APC courses that are popping up now is the kind of perfect combination of CPL and MPL. So I would go for that if I was doing training at the moment. Okay, guys, we're coming up to 10 minutes of this super short live stream. If you have any really important questions now, go for the super chat, guys. Otherwise, I am going to be signing up fairly soon. I hope you like the latest videos, by the way. I'm kind of changing style slightly, and I'm gonna come back to my, I'm gonna do some more videos about inspiration. I'm gonna do some more videos about line training and stuff like that coming forward as well. But I will continue with these explanatory videos as well, because it looks like a lot of people enjoy them, and it's fun for me as well to do some research and to explain stuff to you. So you can expect there's going to be a mix of different ones. And by the way, all the videos that you see, that I'm using some clips from other YouTube channels as well. Feel free on every one of my episodes where I have been borrowing some material from other YouTubers. I generally just use a few seconds to highlight something, but all of the YouTubers that I am borrowing from will have their channel in the description of the video. So if you want to have a more, let's say that you saw a really nice part about a high-speed pass, or some kind of anything else that I've been showing, just go down into the description of the video every time you see it, and you'll see that channel, and you can go in, you can give them some love and say hello to me, because I really want more people to see these fantastic videos that I am using in order to explain my own videos. Okay. Earth is flat and dinosaurs didn't exist from, I'm guessing that is someone in the US. Yeah, everyone is free to think whatever they want. If they don't want to follow, read up on facts, books, and stuff like that, it's fine with me. I'm not going to go into the different crazy conspiracy theories that are out there at the moment. But good stuff. Right. What country and city are you based out of? I am based out of Spain, and I'm in Girona. Okay. So that's just north of Barcelona, and I've been based there for the last 4 years or so. It's a lovely, lovely base. I love this part of the world, which you'll probably see if you follow me on Instagram. You will have noticed that it's in between all the cockpit pictures and stuff. There's pictures from where I hang out down in Plaza de Aro, where I have some apartments, for example. I was there today. Or just up in the mountains, where it's absolutely beautiful. If you have the chance to get to Catalonia, get to Barcelona, go up north, come up to Costa Brava. It's an absolutely beautiful part of the world. What is PBN? Is it fairly new? PBN. It's, I can't remember the what it stands for right now. Send that as a question to me, all right? Because right now my head just draws a blank. Base navigation. I can't come up with the answer right now. Okay, just send this to me inside the Mentour Aviation app as a question. I'll explain it to you when my head clears a little bit. Okay, from Odd Gamer. Cool. Let's see. Yes, performance-based navigation. Obviously, performance-based navigation. There it goes. Fairly new, as in, yes, it's one of the major developments that's happened during my time here. Like when I started 16 years ago, it has started to exist, but it wasn't big. Now it's becoming more and more common. RNAV approaches, things like that. I'll probably do, when I start doing videos about different types of approaches and how we fly LNAV, VNAV, and how that works, I'm going to get more into performance-based navigation and RNAV and PRNAV and things like that. Right now, not really. Cool. Can you do a video on tire burst sometime? I think that's going to be included in a video I'm going to do about landing gear and brakes, and I'll probably do a combined video about reverse thrust, brakes, gear, things like that. And tire burst might well be involved. Tire burst is not a huge deal. That's the thing. It's not something that I would do an entire episode about. So it will come. It will be explained. I will talk a little bit about some tricky things that might happen if you have a tire burst, especially on takeoff, because you might mistake that as an engine failure, because you will hear a bang and you'll feel vibration. But obviously, a tire burst is not an engine failure. So if it happens after 80 knots, it wouldn't be something that I would reject a takeoff for. So, yeah, so what is the difference between VNAV, RNAV, and LNAV? VNAV and LNAV are different modes, autopilot modes, okay? VNAV is the pitch mode that the FMC calculates a proper path to follow, including altitude restrictions, speed restrictions, and approach profile. And if you press VNAV, then the aircraft is going to, providing that we reset the MCP to lower altitudes, it's going to follow the VNAV profile. LNAV is lateral navigation, so that's the route, the route that you program into the FMC, the magenta line. If you press LNAV, the aircraft is going to follow that magenta line. But RNAV is actually the rules surrounding how to fly, for example, an RNAV approach. Okay, it's an approach that is not using any ground-based nav aids, but is built on GPS coordinates and RNAV points. And there are different rules depending on if you're doing basic RNAV or precision RNAV. So by LNAV and VNAV or autopilot modes, RNAV is more of a concept. Okay, like you see, I'm not really, I haven't studied up enough to, I haven't prepared enough to do a proper explanation. But those are the differences anyway between those three terms. Why isn't the FMC as simple as car GPS navigation system? Because the navigation system, or the navigation in itself, is more complicated. For example, a car only moves left, right, forward, and back. Okay, we move in all three dimensions, so it has to be more complicated. You need to put more stuff into an RNAV route, for example, or into the FMC, in order for the aircraft to understand what it is you're trying to accomplish. Okay, yeah, you caught me live, Shah. Shah, good to see you here. Are you allowed to take a walkie-talkies in your hand luggage on an airplane? Yes, as long as they're turned off, because they are radio transmitters, so you're not allowed to have them on or use them obviously during flight, because they might interfere. But as long as you have them off, that should be fine. So, all right, guys, I'm running out of data here, unfortunately. I would have loved to do a longer live stream, but I will do a full like an hour live stream next Sunday. All right, so I'm gonna give you the times early on so that you can plan for it. And right now, I'm just gonna be heading out before I run out of data on my my modem here, because I definitely need it for more stuff, guys. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you enjoyed this little impromptu live stream. Like I said, if you guys want to follow my kind of everyday life, the little pictures that I take when I'm up flying or when I'm going to work or whatever, follow me on Instagram. You'll have the link here in the description of the video. Or if you want to take part in my Patreon crew, the Patrons are really valuable to me. These are the people that previews my videos. It helps me better. You shouldn't really do that. You should probably focus more on this. I use them a lot for different, they're not only providing financial support to the channel, they're also providing a lot of help to me and the channel before I release videos. So if you want to take part of that, then click it, check out what the different levels of support are, and if you like it, feel free to join. Have an absolutely fantastic evening wherever you are. I'm just gonna make sure I'm not missing any super chats. No, I'm not. Guys, thank you for watching, and see you on, well, I'm going to see my video on Friday, but I'll see you next Sunday. Bye-bye.